when I post that, a lot of people will write like, "You're so brave." I'm not brave. That's what my body looks like. And then someone wrote, "I'm so tired of seeing perfect bodies. I'm so happy to see yours." Well, who said my body's not perfect?
Oh, yes, that's so true. Hello and welcome to House of Influence's Zoom room, because we are in quarantine, so we can't actually hang out and meet you guys. I am here with Amir Yasai. Hi.
Hi, Talina. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. I feel a bit weird because my hands just keep popping up. Oh, hi.
Hello.
So you are a US TV host, influencer, and LGBTQ activist. All of the wonderful things. So I wanted to just start by asking you, kind of what direction was your career going in before lockdown happened? Was there anything exciting that you were working on?
Absolutely. So I worked as a publicist for about 10 years. So I was always on the other side of the camera. So it's weird to kind of step in front of the camera. So about 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this. So I started pursuing it. So I started working with an organization called AfterBuzz TV, and we started doing after shows. And so I started then doing live events. So I would do live panels. And then I was like, this is fun. And so I got really into it. And then what happened was right before quarantine, I was pitching a coming out show, much like Queer Eye.
Yeah.
So it was me and a co-host, and we helped people come out of the closet. But not what you would think. So it was like if someone had a divorce or cancer or an HIV diagnosis, the idea is that everyone has a closet. So even if you're straight, you have a closet that you have to come out of.
How has it kind of evolved now, like what your work was before to what it is now in quarantine?
Well, it's funny because I think something about quarantine, we stopped trying to be perfect. So I spent a lot of time right? Like, isn't that we're always trying to be perfect. So I actually started doing IG lives with like all kinds of housewives and Bravo stars and celebrities. I was just like, I have nothing to lose, and everyone's kind of available. Like 5 months ago, I couldn't get any of the people I'm getting now.
Yes.
Literally, people that I had messaged like 6 months ago are now responding. Quarantine, I'm a Gemini, and I always want everything to be perfect. So I was like, you know what? Throw that out the window. So that's kind of a change.
What would you say is something that you think makes you stand out from other people?
I think that for me, I'm not afraid to be me. I'm from a conservative family. So I spent a lot of time in the closet. I spent a lot of time not doing what I wanted to do. And now I'm like, you know what? People respond to when you're yourself. I have days where I'm like, oh, this is too much, or I can't do this, but you push through. And I think a lot of us try to be like, oh, I want to be like that influencer. I want to be like that celebrity. But they've already done it. They're already doing it. Like, we don't need another Lady Gaga. Like, she's already doing it.
Yeah, I agree. What would you say? Like, how do you make sure you're authentic on social media?
I think a lot of people will go through and delete posts that they like because it has like 50 likes. Like I have posts on there where sometimes I'll get 10,000 views, and then sometimes it'll be like 500. But I like the one that has 500 views. So just leave it.
So, and then also you kind of on your Instagram, like description bio, you say that you're a Muslim, which is a phrase I've never heard before. I'm Muslim as well, but I never heard Muslim.
Absolutely. Well, by the way, first of all, Eid Mubarak to you. It's always nice to talk. Thank you. I love talking to a fellow Muslim. I mean, for people that are questioning, I'm more spiritual, and I definitely fasted a little during Ramadan, which is the month of fasting. I don't like practice, I don't pray and stuff, but like I definitely am very culturally Muslim, and I grew up in a very conservative household, and my mom wears, a headscarf, and the rest of my family is quite conservative at times. But I think where I got Muslim from is that there's a lot of queer people that are Muslim. They just don't come out and talk about it, because if you know the religion of Islam, they talk a lot about you can be gay, but don't act on it, don't come out, don't be open, which is like really messed up, because that's not acceptance. Like telling someone they can be a certain way and they can't.
Yeah, it's what's the point then if you can't do anything about it? It's like it's like having a blooming chocolate cake and not being able to eat the bloody thing.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to look at the chocolate cake and not eat it. And I think it's not fair to then say that straight people can get married and act on it, and then you just have to be in the closet. And I think that's when a lot of people will attempt suicide or mental health affected, because you're telling people that they can't be who they are. And there was a story of an imam. That imam is like the kind of like the priest of a mosque. And he had said that, and he's very open and he's very supportive of LGBTQ people. And he said that he had told a family that their son cannot come out and that being gay is a choice. Then this son tried to commit suicide, and then at the hospital, the imam went to visit him and realized like nobody would try to kill themselves over a choice. So this imam kind of changed his perspective. And I actually took my parents to meet him in Seattle and try to have this conversation. And, we went to therapy and I had to come out to them. And, it's been a process.
Yeah.
At times very, very harsh. And, parents that are Persian and conservative, they were like, you're going to get HIV and you're going to die. And there's a lot of fear. And, I think I always tell people, I help a lot of people come out of the closet as well. And I always say, I'm 34. It took me 34 years to be comfortable. You have to give people some time. So I think, it takes time, and I'm right now quarantined with my parents, and they're a lot more accepting and they understand kind of where I come from, but it takes time, and the reason I say, F shame is because I think it's important that people understand that being open and taking up space comes with a lot of shame. If you go on my Instagram, I posted something about being gay and Muslim, and some of the messages are pretty vile. Like there's hundreds of messages of people saying you should kill yourself, you're disgusting, God hates you, hell is hot. I mean, it's a lot of messages, and it doesn't bother me because I'm used to being, you get used to getting a certain amount of hate online, but it's bizarre that people feel like they can just say whatever they want to.
I wanted to ask you, for people that are going through something like you went through, like coming out, and maybe they don't feel like they're supported, coming out about anything, it doesn't have to be their sexuality. It can be about like a certain mental health problem or a religion or whatever. What have you got any tips that you would give to them on that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Talina. So I actually get this message a lot on like my DM. So people will DM me from the Middle East, like from India, and ask me like, how do I come out? Or like, I've been divorced, or I'm dating someone that's a different race. A lot of, there's still a lot of like, racism within communities, even if you're not white, there's a lot of still like, I don't want you to date so-and-so. If you don't ask for permission, people can't tell you what to do. If I want to wear a wig or makeup or a dress, or I want to date a man, I don't ask. I just do it. And then if you want to give your opinion, that's great, but I don't give you much space, and I spent a lot of my life being like, oh my God, can I wear that? Can I? And everyone would be like, no. I always say, like happiness, you don't wake up happy, you work at happiness. You work at your mental health. You have to work at that as well. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're so confident. I'm like, it's a persona. Like I work at it. I work at it. The people like us that are bubbly have gone through the darkness. To get to the light, you have to go through the darkness. There's no way around it. Like people are like, oh, I want to move to Paris and then I'll be happy. If I can get around this darkness, you can never get around it. You have to go right through it. And I think the reason quarantine I think is good is that it's forced a lot of people to go through the darkness.
I want to ask as well about body positivity. Where are you at on the whole body positivity vibe?
So I used to spend a lot of time being like, oh, this body positivity thing is annoying, because I used to struggle with my body, and a lot of gay men struggle with body dysmorphia, which is basically you could be perfectly fit and you're like, there's something wrong with my body. Like I have friends who have like perfect bodies, abs, they're models, and they're like, I'm so fat, I'm so disgusting. I struggle with that a lot, and a lot of people don't know gay men have the highest rate of eating disorders, even more than women.
Really?
You go to these, like if you go to a nightclub that's straight, usually there's not like naked dancers. But you go to a gay club, there's like perfect bodies on every corner. And there's a hierarchy. If you're buff and white and perfect, you're at the top. Then it's like lower. There's all these hierarchies of who gets attention. And especially in lockdown, there's a lot of my friends that are like, oh my God, I'm losing muscle mass and I'm so upset. And it's like, what about your mental health? Like your body doesn't really matter right now. Like I'm not skinny. Like I am a full-figured person, and I have to own that. And when I post that, a lot of people will write like, you're so brave. I'm not brave. That's what my body looks like.
Oh, yes, that's so true.
I hate that. I really hate that, because what it does is and then someone wrote, I'm so tired of seeing perfect bodies. I'm so happy to see yours. Well, who said my body's not perfect? You're saying that.
Yeah, like
you're the one saying
it's perfect to somebody, to you, to somebody else. Like it might not be perfect to like this person that's commented on that, but yeah, that's so true.
Right.
Now, talking of the fieriness, your TikTok account has like blown up over quarantine, right? And I love it because I was like watching them before about, you know, you kind of like calling Khloe Kardashian out on the fact that her face is not the same now. Like, how is that possible during quarantine and that kind of thing? So how's your TikTok account blown up so much? Like, what have you done? Like, what's been going on?
Well, I just like started doing it right before quarantine, maybe like a month before. I was like, you know, I'm gonna get into, like, one of my friends like, you should do TikTok. I tried it and I was like, oh, it's all dance challenges. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And it was funny because talking about authenticity, I was like trying to be like everyone else. I'm gonna do the dance challenges. I'm gonna like do all the stuff that everyone else is doing. And then it wasn't authentic. I was like, this isn't who I am. Like Jessica Alba was doing these dance challenges and like, it was just so forced. Like, it was like she was trying to be TikTok famous. And you had Jason Derulo, who was like flipping into a pool and like breaking stuff in his house just to get likes. And I was like, these people are not being authentic. Like, they're trying so hard, you know, like he literally like brought all these young TikTokers to his house, like Jason Derulo, and was like dancing with them. I was like, what is happening? So I was like, I'm gonna make fun of them. Like, that's what I'm good at. So I'm gonna make fun of them. So I was like, easy. And it literally took me 5 minutes. You can do a green screen effect and you can just put a picture of them and make fun of them. Then and then all of a sudden I had like 100K or like 50K or whatever on the videos. Like, it was a huge difference. So I was like, and then the comments, and like, for me, it's not about the views, it's about the engagement. So people were commenting like, oh my God, I want more of these. So then I just started doing them. And like, now I have like 5 or 6 ready to pick up.
It's all about like your followers like engage with you and liking it, because you're saying what everyone is thinking, basically, but in a funny way. It's not like nasty. It's just like, this is funny kind of thing. So can you do like 1 or 2 of your like catchphrases on TikTok for us now?
Of course. So the biggest one I do is like at the end of each segment, I'm like, next. And people just like love that. I mean, I just did it off the cuff. Next. I was like, on to the next. Like,
so like with TikTok, obviously, and you're kind of like being like, you're being funny, you're being outspoken, you're being real. Do you get a lot of trolls, basically?
Yeah. So unfortunately, like TikTok, it's wonderful, but it's also very homophobic and actually racist. So one of my friends has like 5 million followers. So her and her friends are all Black creators. They all got together. And now they're creating a whole like campaign against TikTok to give Black creators a lot more voice. So unfortunately, because TikTok is a Chinese company, they're not very LGBTQ friendly. So a lot of my videos have actually been deleted. I read a lot of articles about it. And so I'm trying to bring more attention to that as well. But, you know, listen, the platform is great, but there are still a lot of trolls. There's still a lot of straight people pretending to be gay as a joke. That happens a lot.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's still happening. You'd be surprised. I was like shocked. I can actually send you, it happens a lot. Like some of the ones that like have millions of followers still will like pretend to kiss their friend and then go like, ugh. Like they still do stuff like that, which is, I'm like, wait. When they go too far, Talina, I'm like, I have to comment. Like I have to say something. So that's when I get the most trolls. But there are people that are like, there are children on here, stop talking about being gay. And I'm like, whatever. Like, just ignore it.
You just basically like take it in your stride, and because you're super authentic anyway, it's like next, as you would say.
Next.
Well, thank you so much. It's been like so nice talking to you, and like talking about, like, I feel like people listening to this also will feel like really encouraged as well, because you've made some great points and you've been great banter as well. So thank you so much. And
that was so fun.
Wanting to find you on Instagram, where can we find you?
Of course, it's AMIR Yas _. So AMIRYASS _, and that's on Twitter and TikTok as well. So come wherever you feel like it. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching. This was House of Influences Zoom Room.